what was it like growing up in Animony? What was it like being a boy there? What did you do?
Well, everything was farm and ranching area. There's no business. There were a couple of stores and a post office. That's all we had, and the rest of it was farms and ranches, and livestock.
And what were your parents' names?
Pardon?
What were your parents' names?
My mother was a McNilly, come from Escalante,
Oh.
and my father, her name was Hazel McNilly, and Alonzo Black was my father. He born and raised in that area, and he grew up there.
Alonzo Black. And did they ranch? They have a farm?
Yes, we had a ranch there. We run cattle and farm,
And what, did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I had 4 brothers, and we each had a sister.
What were their names?
Verl was next to me. Then Kendall got killed at a young age in a tractor accident, and Dale and Darrell. And Darrell just retired. He just passed on. He was a professor up at the Ricks College up to Rexburg.
Well, so what did you guys do as little boys on the ranch? What did you do for chores?
Oh, we got into all kinds of mischief.
Oh, maybe so.
Well, all the means of transportation we had, at that age was horseback. So our neighbors used to tell people that my dad had me taught to ride before my mother could teach me how to walk, and that was about the truth. And everywhere I went, I was on a horse, And we farmed and took care of the cattle, summered them on the mountain, and wintered, fed them in the winter.
Where did you winter them?
We ride it locally in Animony. There we fed.
Yeah. What kind of work did you guys have to do as kids?
Farm work. We milked cows, and of course during hay season, why we was run the teams and machinery to make hay and grain, and we milked cows all the time for little money. Most of the cow milking fell to us kids because my dad he liked to furnish the cows, but he didn't like to do the chores.
But he had 4 boys.
Yeah.
And what memories do you have of just being down there? Any memorable things that stand out as being a kid in Animony?
Well, I can't think of anything special.
What about that first car that came to Animony?
The first car that went to Boulder, I remember. And I don't remember the first coming.
Animony, weren't you going to church one day?
Oh, that was the horse. That was a horse and buggy.
Uh-huh.
My dad was busy farming, so he sent the mother with a buckboard and a team take us kids to church. And on the way back, some of the friends of the family or distant relatives, they come to visit, and they made the mistake of blowing their horn behind the buggy, and of course horses not used to being that, they run away. And they failed to make the first turn, and they went across, instead of going up on the Animony bench, where we called it, they went down the hill across Coyote Creek and throwed my sister and I out head first, and then they run for about a mile up the highway, and a neighbor finally caught them up there, and I lit on my head or it would hurt me, I still got a gash up here.
It didn't kill you, obviously.
My sister broke her arm, and cut my head.
Oh,
And they patched us up there in town. We never went to a doctor. We just gathered there in the town. And anyway, we got over that. It wasn't long till then the family got a Model T Ford.
and were the roads good enough for cars?
Yeah, they wasn't good enough, no, but they served a purpose.
So then did you learn how to be a mechanic too?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But it was good times, you know. We served the Depression there, and I remember Dad said we run the cattle about 2 years for nothing, never made no profit, but we couldn't sell the beef, so we ate it. So we had, all during the Depression, we had plenty of stuff to eat, just no money.
but no one had any money down here.
No,
which was great.
nobody had any money.
No.
And we was the lucky ones. Some of the other people that didn't own farms and ranches, you know, they worked at WPA or PWA, whatever it was, and jobs around for the farmers, and it was a hard deal.
3 of my uncles.
And there was only 2 places in the area that made whiskey.
Only two?
I gotta bring this in.
Please do.
There was one family named Earl West. He had a little cabin up. The Saints in Animony, they wouldn't allow anything like that happen, so we went up to Angle, which they call North Fork, up across by the north end of Otter Creek Reservoir. And this guy was making pretty good whiskey, and revenuers come. They said to him, "We understand you're making whiskey and selling it." He said, "Yeah, I'm making whiskey and selling it." And he said, "And I got a name of making pretty good whiskey." They said, "Well, we've got to take you in because that's not allowed." He said, "Okay, I'll go in and change my clothes and I'll go with you." He went in and he didn't change his clothes, but he come out with a big old 45. And he showed him the big end of that, and he says, "This is as far as I'm going." He says, I got a family to support, and there's no judges or no jobs around. And I don't have a farm or any milk cows or anything. So he says, I'm going to keep making whiskey to support my family. Then the other family that made whiskey was the Wilcoxes.
Did they back off? Did the
Yeah,
agents?
they left, I guess. I'm not no telling what would have happened if they didn't, you know. But anyway, they left him alone. And then another family, Wilcoxes, made whiskey too. And they kind of lived out in the brush, and so they, three guys from Animony, they decided to get a jug of whiskey for 4th of July. So they go up there and buy a keg of whiskey from Wilcox's, 5-gallon can. And they brought it down to Animony, and they opened the bung on the side of it, and they drink right out of the keg, you know, hold it up. And it finally got to where every once in a while they couldn't get nothing out. So they knocked the head out of the keg, and they found a squirrel in there.
A happy dead squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.